Welcome to PRM613. My name is Dr. Karen Rainford. I go by Dr. K, and I'm happy to have you in the class. If you have a different instructor, you'll find that it's very similar. The purpose of this presentation is to review the syllabus for PRM613. In terms of student learning objectives, I'm not going to read through these, but it's a lot about quality management from a project perspective, and it's figuring out what it is that the customer needs, how to identify that in specific measurable ways, and how to make sure that the project delivers on those particular requirements. It's also about ethical considerations for project quality decisions and managing project lessons learned so that organizations grow in their organizational knowledge base. And finally, we've actually rolled in an entire statistics class, but don't let that scare you because we're looking at some of the basic statistic methods that are highly tied in to quality management, like measures of central tendency, mean, median, mode, measures of variance like standard deviation, and being able to work with charts and graphs effectively. The resources that you'll need for this course, the primary resource that gives us information on project integration, on project scope where requirements are defined, and on project quality is the PMBOK guide. We're using the 6th edition from 2017. There are several great resources on quality. One is a book by Rose. Another is a toolkit by George et al. And finally, we also use the American Society for Quality website, asq.org. In terms of quantitative methods, there are many things covered in George et al., but also Rumsey gives you a very readable, very interesting approach to looking at statistics and really using them in practical ways. Here is the breakdown of all of the assessments for the course. As usual, we have 500 points. We're going to be walking through each one of these, but looking at the final column, the day due, most things, if there's a forum, the first post is usually due on Wednesday, and the remaining posts are due on Sunday, and all of the other assignments are due on Sunday of each week. We're going to be going through each of these types of assessments in more detail. The first thing that you'll notice in this course are that we have reading, quizzes, discussions, and quantitative methods. These are all the learning parts of the course where we're making sure that you're introduced to all of the basics of everything that you need to learn. So you'll be weekly getting new reading assignments and new discussion forums. The quizzes are just from weeks 1 through week 6, and there are 3 quantitative methods exercises, so 3 statistics exercises. Each one is very brief, very focused, and those happen in week 3, 4, and 5. So here's the approach to these assessments. Feel free to work with that on quizzes and on reading. Quizzes close on Sunday evening. If you need extra time, please contact your instructor. We rarely have problems with reopening quizzes, but the reading really does help you do the work that's required for that week. And so having a due date on the quizzes helps to motivate getting that reading done on a timely basis. The discussions are used to help with other assessments, and they've been developed to be as fun as possible. And quantitative methods, as I said earlier, is not a full statistics course. It's just some very basic statistics that you need to use as a project manager. One of the learning aspects of this course is the team project. You'll be forming teams, 3-person teams in week 1, and remaining with those teams throughout the course. Every team is working on the same case study, but during week 1, your team will choose a slightly different thing. So the main case study is about Acme pet foods, and your team might choose to do a doggy parade or a pet and fun run, but all within the same structure of the same team. You will, during weeks 1 through 7, be going through some templates that are based on the PMBOK guide and applying specific tools. And then in week 8, you'll be doing a summary of that. This is a team-based as well as an individual effort. Each one of you during about week 3 will be choosing a particular area of problems to focus on. So for example, last year, the event had a number of problems with petty cash, with getting volunteers, with safety. And each of you will be choosing one of those areas like safety or petty cash or marketing or advertising to work on as your particular process improvement area. You'll be learning from every team because we all turn in the assignments to the same team project discussion board. Something that you'll hear about a lot is the IQT, that stands for Individual Quality Tool. And here's how it works. During week 1, you choose one tool or technique, quality tool or technique, that you will present to your classmates. So essentially, you'll be teaching about checklists or about flowcharts or about control charts to all of your peers in the class. And you will be teaching your peers by doing a voice thread later on during the class. So you'll practice understanding how to make a good presentation of this kind by critiquing past student presentations during week 2. Then we move into weeks 3 through 6. And during one of those 4 weeks, you will present your individual quality tool. Every week, 3 through 6, you are going to be reviewing the presentation that your peers have made and giving them some feedback on their presentation. You'll also be applying the tools that your peers are presenting to the team project case study. And this is a discussion board, and it's 15 points per week, each of weeks 3, 4, 5, and 6. So one of those weeks, you'll be doing a 10-point presentation post where you present. And each of the other weeks and all of the weeks, you'll be doing reviewer posts where you give your peers feedback on their presentations. And you'll be doing application posts where you choose one of the tools that was presented, for example, checklists, and you explain in great detail how you would apply that quality tool or technique to your particular part of the team project. So there is overlap between the IQT and the team project, which is nice because once you've done it in one place, you can use it in the other place, but otherwise they're not related in terms of grading. The final week of the IQT presentations is week 6, and at the end of week 6, everybody uploads just their presentation slides. You don't have to redo your presentation. And the instructor grades your overall presentation on a 20-point scale. So that brings us to the end of the assignments that happen over a multi-week period. There are 2 assignments that only happen once each. The first assignment that only happens once is a research paper, which is due week 7. And you do get a little bit of practice about writing that research paper during the week 6 discussion, when we'll be looking at a recall problem with a particular cookie company. Resources that you should use for your research paper includes news reports of highly visible quality failures, news reports about product recalls, research papers from the St. Mary's online library about quality issues and how they should be addressed or could be addressed, and your textbooks. So, for your quality research paper, you will turn it in week 7. It's worth up to 70 points, and you find one example of a product quality failure or a product recall. For example, Firestone Tires had a big issue. Wells Fargo had a big issue with banking. And you report on specific aspects of that situation. Report about the cost and ethical ramifications and how the project could have been avoided or fixed. And the major point of this is to apply everything that you've learned about quality management and quality management terminology, concepts, and ideas to a particular quality failure. Finally, during week 8, you'll be doing turning in a paper called your ethical reflection blog. We actually practice an ethical reflection during week 5 when the instructor provides an ethical quality-based scenario and we discuss it as a group. But during week 8, you'll use the same resources we used in week 5, which are the PMI Code of Ethics and the PMI Ethical Decision-Making Framework, and any other ethical analysis tools that you've used in other classes or that you're familiar with. During week 8, you will develop your own scenario with a quality ethical dilemma. You'll apply resources like those above to explain how you would resolve that dilemma. We don't use an APA format for this. We use just the technical writing format, more of a blog format. But you should use in-text citing for any ideas that aren't your own, because of course, that's the ethical way to write. For those of you who are wondering, in terms of project quality management, we are focused on Chapter 8. There are 3 processes: plan quality, manage quality, which is part of the executing process group, and control quality, which is part of monitoring and controlling. These changed drastically, especially 8.2 changed from the 5th edition of the PMBOK guide. So be careful when you use online resources that they aren't looking at the old version of project quality management. So welcome aboard. If you have any questions, use the Ask the Instructor forum. What we find is that if you have a question, probably several other people have the same question. If you'd like to get in touch with your instructor, it says in the syllabus how to get in touch with that particular instructor. Um, if you're getting in touch with me, email or text work very well. Voicemail messages don't work at all because my phone, believe it or not, does not allow me to know when I have a voicemail message. So I am really looking forward to learning with you this semester. This is a great class. It's a fun class, and I can't wait to see you engage with it. See you online.